So folks, I have just picked up BMW S1000XR Sport SE. This is my first ride since I got knocked off, and I'm in the market for a new bike. So I thought, in the interest of fairness, I can't just jump straight back on a GS. I've got to test the market. So, this is the first one. Let's see how we get on. Proper Top Gear rules. As soon as someone says they need fuel. Now this also gives me a chance to test the new Drift 4K actually on a bike. Now there's been some firmware updates on the Drift 4K and they appear to be working, but I've just switched the camera on, tried to sync the remote and it didn't work, so I had to repair it again. The remote is absolutely useless as a biker. It doesn't fit around your jacket. As you can see there, that's the remote down there, tiny little thing. Normally on the GS, on the old remote, had a big old Velcro strap that you could just loop round here and big chunky button. It was great. This stupid little thing that they're giving us now, this sort of teenager wristwatch. How old do I sound? That strap is just too small, it's too fiddly, the buttons are too small, it's crap drift, you need to sort that out. Sorry to be blunt, but it really is. I've been trying the modular system again on the drift, you know, with the extra batteries and the LCD screen. It's just junk, it just doesn't work. I can't open it, I have to dig my keys or coins in to get them off. It won't open with my fingers. So they're all marked. I'm sorry Drift, I just do not like the design of this camera. Put the 4K element and the battery life, because they're excellent. Put that in the Ghost S housing and you have a brilliant MotoVlogging camera. But what you have now is the Drift 4K, no use. It's going to do you more harm than good. But anyway, never mind. So, the BMW S1000XR Sport SE. Basically it's a hybrid of the S1000RR and they kind of just put it on stilts, that's what they say. It's a sports bike on stilts. It's a 4-cylinder engine obviously, so big change from the parallel twin and the GS. And I noticed it, as soon as I got on it, this is a strange thing to say, but it feels like a toy compared to the GS or the big Triumph. The engine hasn't got that big important noise. It's quiet, refined. I was going to say Japanese, but of course it's not. But it's got that Jap inline 4 feel to it, that refinement. Now the only reason I'm doing the dual carriageway here is I've got to get to Godstone quite quick to meet up with little Cy, and then I think we're going to be doing the back twisty roads for a cup of tea and a grapefruit probably for me to try and lose a bit of weight. Oh mate, how you doing? I just want to check this camera. This is this new Drift. It's just frozen, look. Right folks, I hope you can hear me okay. I've ditched the Drift 4K. It froze again, the remote wasn't working. It's just not reliable. It's just a pile of junk at the moment, I'm sorry to say. Picture quality at 4K is real good, but the camera itself just isn't reliable and that remote really lets it down massively. Yeah, so I have now just scrapped the 4K, I've gone back to the Ghost S, nice and reliable. For some reason, I don't quite get my logic a lot of the time. I brought the Ghost S with me, but I forgot the remote. So I'll just switch her on, and little Cy and I are going to head down towards the coast. Okay. So initial thoughts so far, it's a good bike, it's powerful, it is fast. It's a non-event until you get up in the high revs, and then once you get in the high revs, woof, there's the power. There is power there throughout the range, but it just hasn't got that grunt you feel from the V-twins, you know, or the parallel twins. It just hasn't got that, or the triples. They've got a lovely woof of power right from the off. And this just doesn't feel like it has the same thing. A lovely exhaust note, it's a stock exhaust, but it sounds great. Now, little Cy in front is actually an instructor. You've seen him in all the other vids, the Picos vids that I did, the second Picos vid. Little Cy was on that, but he is incredibly fast. So I probably will lose him because not feeling particularly confident, I have to say. That's where it goes so quiet because I'm shitting myself. Ooh, stay there, van. I've got to admit, seeing traffic coming from side roads now, it freaks me out. Even in the car as a passenger. I'm a terrible passenger. It has got a lovely pick-up of power, you know, once you're up in the revs there. And the exhaust note, the engine note is beautiful. That inline four scream. It's nice to have that back again. I think that's what it is. It just feels effortless, this. It's sort of a non-event with the power. This has a quick shifter and a blipper for going down the box, and it is silky smooth. I've heard the new GS's and GS Adventures, the quick shifter and blipper they have is very smooth. The new gearbox is good. Well, this is the same. It is lovely. And it's got a lovely overrun as well if you're in high revs. Riding position wise, you feel quite high in the bike. Quite wide bars, not as wide as the GS obviously, but the foot pegs are quite high though. So it's a sportier seating position than the GS. My heels feel a little bit higher up than they're used to. But it's not uncomfortable by any means. You can grip the tank nicely with your knees and inner thighs, get a bit of hip movement out of the bike. It's got heated grips, exactly the same sort of setup as the GS was. 2-level heated grips, different mode functions, different suspension settings. Stay there, pal. Thank you, Posty. So it's all very, very familiar in the controls. Oh man, you can see how nervous I am now. Much more of a nervous rider and passenger than I used to be. I need to get rid of that. Oh, I must be gripping the bars tight. I'm getting cramp in my fingers. I need one of them. Need one of them. Now, Si is occasionally known as Tom Tom because his sense of direction is horrendous. Bear in mind, he's lived around here all his life. He could get lost in his own garage. Oh wow, yeah, there is a lot of power there. Oh yeah. Oh wow, there is a lot of power. Just feel it kicking in, sort of 6,000 odd revs. Bang, there it comes. Lovely pop and bang, cackle off the exhaust. Stay there. Thank you. It's a horrible feeling. When you've come off a bike, when you get back on, there's a voice of experience here. It's learning to trust a bike and the tyres in a corner again. On a bike, you just have to get your power off, line up for the corner, get in, get the power on, sort of at the apex, and power around. And that keeps the bike nice and stable, and round you go, no issues. Well, when you've come off, you hesitate, you brake in the wrong place, you're not putting the power in when you need to put the power in, and it just destabilizes the bike, and it just gets worse and worse and worse, you know. And I totally got rid of that when I had the GS. I loved that bike. I'd put that anywhere, you know. I just loved riding it, and I've had so long off again, plus it's bloody winter. Look at all this crap in the road as well. I've had so long off the bike, I feel like a newbie again. I will say the brakes are awesome, they really are good. It does feel lovely and weighted. You know, it doesn't feel top heavy, it doesn't feel bottom heavy, it just feels nice, this bike. Yeah, that is pretty effortless, I've got to say. That power delivery is so smooth, silky smooth. It's definitely a bike that feels, for me anyway, it feels more comfortable at faster speeds, if that makes sense. It's not uncomfortable, I don't know, it just feels planted, more planted when you're going a little bit quicker. And I'm not talking about breakneck speeds. I suppose it's the rev range. I hadn't noticed that before, but once you get up in the revs, it just comes alive. Oh Jesus, shits me up when traffic approaches from the side. Oh, I think Si's given up. Don't blame him. Must be like riding with a newbie. Wow, that whoosh of power. Clutch definitely feels quite stiff on this. This is a nice road, this. Oh, you can tell a few months off the bike's softened me up. Feeling the cold now. Even with all this flubulation. Lovely stretch of road this, over the downs. Stay there, car. Stay. Thank you. Now I'm hoping the battery's lasting on the Ghost S. That is the only issue I have with the Ghost S, is the battery life isn't great. It's only about 2 hours. I've got extra batteries with me, so that's all I do, is just interchange them. The problem without the remote is you just set the camera to record, obviously, and then it's just a continuous record. So there's massive long chunks of nothing. It's a real pain when you come to edit, because you have to work your way through all that. Just time consuming. But first world problems, eh? Relax, Smart, relax. Fingers are killing me. Ooh, come on, lean in. 25 mile an hour in a 40. Good work. When you've been off the bike, you forget how quickly you have to process information around about you. And it takes a while to get your brain up to speed with that, you know, get your eyes moving so quick and all your reactions starting to sink in again. No doubt it'll take quite a few rides for that to happen. Just hate feeling like a newbie again. But you know, this bike's got oodles of power, so I am slow around the bends, but the bike has so much power that you quickly make up that. That's a fast bike. Having said that, the GS would sit here all day long in a lot of comfort and it'd get to that speed very quickly. It feels faster because of the engine, because of the inline 4 engine. I don't think it is. Come on, trust the tyres, trust the road. God, I could have got off and pushed that round quicker. Alright, stay there, van, what are you doing? Dogs behind it, what are you doing, what are you doing, what are you doing? Nobody in it? Bloody hell, I'm freezing. Stay. I've got to admit, this just, you know, this isn't tickling my watch-its at all. It's a strange thing to say on a 160 brake horsepower bike. That is fast, no denying it, it is fast, but it feels soulless, doesn't feel any character yet. Maybe it's going to take a bit of time, maybe it's because I'm just back into riding. I remember jumping on the Explorer and the GS and straight away just sort of going, oh wow, what a machine. This, no, nothing yet. You stay there. Oh man, my clutch hand, my left hand, jeez, cramping up. The clutch is so far out. It's not adjustable actually, I've had a look. It's not one of those easy adjust ones. It's quite a stiff clutch. Thankfully the quick shifter and the blipper are really good, so you only really need it if you're coming to a stop somewhere. Tired. I was excited last night, couldn't really sleep. I was excited and nervous. I've got to admit, I've been nervous about riding again, and I just thought I've got to get back in the saddle because I don't like that. Nicky said as well, I've been a really bad passenger in the car. You know, I'm phantom braking all the time and flinching, and it's terrible. I think it's affected my confidence more than any other crash has. That sounds terrible. I've just had a crap year, folks. I'm not a routine crasher, I promise you. I've just had a really bad year. And 2 out of the 3 weren't my fault. But there's plainly something, I'm doing something wrong to have had those 2 accidents. And they weren't speed orientated, so what was it? Observation? Yeah, possibly actually, yeah, possibly. The other parties were in the wrong, but I should have been able to react to that. Should have given myself enough braking distance to be able to react to it. It's not always possible. Real life situations, it's not always possible, but so I'm gonna have to look at that. I want to do some IEM courses. Yes, I know. I won't go as far as getting myself a blight vest, don't worry folks. Yeah, already my brain's just not up to speed yet. It's not taking in the information quickly enough yet. And it's almost, I can feel like my brain going, and at that point, I just have to slow and let my brain catch up. That quick shifter is beautiful, so silky smooth. Alright, Nationals, off we go. Stay. Thank you. Oh man, I need a pee. Oh god, I need a pee. Okay, power on and lean in, Smart. What are you doing? God, I'm so out of practice. Positioning's all over the place. Comfort braking. Oh, what are you doing, Smart? Stay there, stay there, stay there. Oh, Jesus. See what I mean? Gotta get over that. Yeah, about 6,000 revs, this thing just takes off. And it just keeps on pulling. Have I mentioned I need a pee? I really need a pee. Didn't know they'd letting bikes in the bus lane now. That's excellent in Brighton. Never used it. Good, good. Oh man, I noticed that the foot pegs are that little bit higher up. Sometimes when you're pulling away and bringing your knee up, I get cramp down my thigh. God, a bloody wreck I am. Just give up and get a car. Never. Well, that clutch is really stiff in traffic. Oh, someone's liking the weed. Woohoo! No, I never used to have any issues at all commuting on the big GS or Explorer, so I am definitely well out of practice. Oh. Well, we've just had a couple of brews in the calf down at the seafront in Brighton. Having got off the bike and back on it after a little break there for an hour or two. You do sometimes find that, you know, you have a little break, you get back on, and sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse. This is actually better. To exploit the power, you have to wring its neck. You've got to get the rev range up, like I said. And once you start riding it like a sports bike, you really will reap the rewards. You know, it is a fantastically potent weapon. You know, it's very fast off the mark once you have the revs up. So from a standing start, no, not particularly. It's not slow, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. Get the revs up there and pin it, and oh my god, it unleashes hell. It's fast, very fast. Typically German about it, very clinical. There's no song or dance, it just does it. Foot peg position, you know, even after an hour or so on the bike there, I am cramping up a little bit. Yeah, I've not been on a bike for quite a while, but it's still a little bit higher than I would want personally. Now I've been spoilt and ridden the big adventure bikes. But as I said, I think if you go from a sports bike and you're looking for that little bit more comfort and practicality, this would be a great bike to go to. But if you're coming for an adventure bike, I think you've probably been spoiled. This probably wouldn't be the one to go for. By all means, not a bad bike. It's a good machine. Very good machine. Fast, powerful, fairly comfortable. Typical German engineering. It's no doubt it's going to be tremendous, and the service quality from BMW, well, it always is awesome. I've never had a complaint from them, personally. Is it the bike for me? Afraid not. That's the end of the first test ride to see what the replacement bike's going to be. It's not going to be an S1000XR, so let's see what the next one brings. Don't know what that's going to be yet, but we'll see. Hope you've enjoyed. Remember, keep liking, keep subscribing, keep sharing, and keep living your life.